This week, Germany leads the way in innovative modern solutions to combat your local Nazis. Keith unveils his most important topics for the Democratic debates, and we discover that our greatest fear since we were young men is actually true. And if we got a health craze you're absolutely not interested in.
You listen to me when I'm talking to you! No, you listen to me when I'm talking to you! Robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time! Tonight, the Democrats are all going to argue with one another about things that I personally probably don't care about. But what we're going to find out today is, what should they be arguing about? The question I'd like to put up to them is, what would you replace with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter? I would suggest the next hour. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, well, and arguments, but one brimming with art, music, and culture. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, in studio, we have the very respectful James from Doc Pine and the respect he deserves. Hello, James.
Ooh. Hello.
Hey, welcome.
How's it going, man?
It's going very well. For those who do not know, James is going to be playing with Doc Pine and the respect he deserves on Sunday, July 7th there's a concert series called First Sundays up in Annapolis over by the Rams Head. Was it Rams Head Live? That's not live, is it?
Rams Head on Stage.
On Stage. That's the one I was thinking of. It's in Annapolis, Maryland, just off West Street at like 11 a.m., but you're going to be there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's free, right? People can just swing by and listen, right?
Yeah. Doc Pine is my alias name, so the feds don't find me.
Well, you shouldn't have said that. I mean, trust me.
Do they listen to your podcast?
No one listens to our podcast.
Well, we do know the Italian police do.
Yes.
Oh.
They do.
I'm not worried about them.
They shut down a brothel we talked about once.
I don't shut down Well,
it was like a robot brothel. So it's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys are aware. Adam, welcome to the show as well. I don't mean to
Thank you. I'm here every week, and I don't talk that much anyway. So
I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's the Democratic debates. As people who listen to the podcast probably know, we time travel. You're listening right now, week after we did this, because Adam needs the time to take all of our crappiness and make it sound good, and that takes a lot of time. So tonight.
Just on your track. Mine's always perfect.
Right, absolutely. Mine's just full of yelling and ridiculousness. So tonight, the Democrats are going to be arguing about things. They're doing their first debate. And then tomorrow, they're doing it again, but with new people, because that's how many there are. And so I was trying to think of things that we'd like to hear them. There's going to be obviously things about like trade wars, and there's going to be the environment and not, not hurting people you don't like and not being jerks and, all of the normal stuff. But I think there are things that maybe they're going to skip over. I don't know if you guys had any in mind, but I'll start. And then you chime in if you guys think of something that you'd also like to see debated. My thinking was I'd really like to have them answer what I think is a very important national question, at least for men, which is...
Once again, I'm ready to be disappointed in you.
Why? No,
because every week you have one of these ideas, and then everyone just ends up shaking their heads, wondering where the hell you were going with that.
This is important. These are cutting edge, very, very important topics that I'm bringing up. I'm trying to make a difference in the world, Adam, and you just keep getting in the way.
I mean, okay, go ahead and surprise me.
So here's the topic that I think we need some discussion about, and that is short urinals. All right, should you go to the short urinal first because it's polite so that you can allow other taller people go to the taller urinals, or is the short urinal for shorter people, and so it's kind of like the handicap stall where you shouldn't do it? You should go to the normal sized ones because let's face it, like if somebody's tall, they can go to the short urinal and they can like make do. But if someone's like super short and they have to go to a tall urinal, they got to do like a Bellagio fountain thing to be able to make it work. And that's not right. And first of all, it's going to tail off at the end and be a terrible mess. So I'm thinking that actually I've always gone to the short one thinking like, I'm not very tall. So in case somebody who's like 6'7" comes in, I should let them have the taller one. But maybe I'm really being rude and I'm taking the one that other people might physically need. What do you guys think?
You're blowing my mind because as a somewhat tall person,
yeah,
I always thought that where the urinal falls is sort of an inadvertent confession to like your dick length.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if it's down to the floor, it's like, ooh, I'm gonna Lyndon Johnson this noise. You know what I mean? Like but that makes sense. You know, if you're like Warwick Davis, you know, you can get up to that tall urinal. I feel like this is a whole world that I've been really unsympathetic to,
right?
And have looked at the wrong way.
And I feel like they're not going to bring it up once.
They probably won't because they're a bunch of assholes that have their own personal goddamn golden urinals and follow them around on the campaign trail.
I think it's good. Yeah. The key, if you ever want to like impress a dude in the bathroom, just be at the urinal and look over at him and just say, water's cold today, huh?
Ay.
And if he looks at you,
an old one.
If he looks at you and goes, "What the hell?" You go, "And deep."
My dad's been making that joke since I was about 2.
Well, congratulations, Adam. I didn't know. So sounds like you've got some good heritage going on. So what do you want to hear the Democrats debate about? What do you think is an important topic that probably won't be brought up?
Robots.
Very important.
I was going to, up until last week, I would have said unfucking the DC traffic circles, but now we all know that they call us tornadoes. So
right.
We need to debate how much we can unfuck them without spawning hurricanes in the middle of the
James, what
Capitol.
Is it just like, I feel like you didn't go into detail about the robots because I'm assuming you don't want them to like debate if there are robots.
No, there's definitely gonna be robots. Look, the thing is, actually, to be honest, like it seems like there's more people on board to be like, whoa, guys, your job's gone. It doesn't matter because it's automated, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see at least some people, whether or not you agree with them or not, at least addressing that core issue.
Sure.
Because I feel like for years it's been like, here's how my side's gonna create jobs.
Right.
You're full of shit. Here's how my side's gonna create jobs. And it's like, no one's creating jobs. They're all going away.
Yeah. When do you think we're gonna get to a point where robots are gonna be like, hey, I should get paid?
Soon, I hope, man. My whole next album is literally tailor made for the kind of sentient robots that enjoy honky tonks.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah, you have different types of listening pleasure for the robots.
Yeah, I'm a forward-thinking guy. If I wasn't doing music, I would be a lawyer for robot rights.
Robot right lawyer.
Yeah, but that takes too much schooling and guitar. You know, to write a country song, it's like 3 chords. So
right.
I figured, get there quicker.
First right that you should fight for is that robots get ears so they can listen to your music.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's underutilized.
Yeah, everyone assumes that robots are going to be listening to EDM music. Not so.
No.
The first thing that robots are going to be jamming out to is Hank Williams Sr. And from there, if they decide to wipe out the human race, I can tell you this.
Yeah.
I'll be spared, and I'm not an ally of humanity. I'll tell them where you're hiding. You know?
I mean, it's probably a smart thing to do because I actually have a news item later on that it'll explain why humanity is going to lose that particular war. So stay tuned for that because I think I have a really compelling reasoning for it. Would you?
Is it because we couldn't even take care of goddamn Tamagotchis as a kid, and now they're coming back for revenge?
Yeah, no, they're probably very angry. So, would you want the Democrats to debate how much respect Doc Pine deserves?
Of course, I would. I think that the fact that they're not debating that makes them all a bunch of patsies. Don't vote for anyone that doesn't bring up my name. because they're full of shit.
So once again, for those joining us here, we are talking to. Are you Doc Pine? Are you the Doc Pine?
Yeah,
James Doc Pine.
Mm-hmm.
So we have James. You're the lead singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lead singer of Doc Pine and the respect he deserves. They're going to be playing Sunday, July 7th at 11 a.m., which is a terrible time to have to play music. I'll be honest.
Oh, especially if you're hungover.
Yeah.
But those true of spirit that want to get a little, little something going on that Sunday, we're gonna bring the church to them.
A little hair of the dog.
A little hair of the dog is what we will supply.
So that's going to be 11 a.m. Sunday, July 7th. It's called the First Sunday, I guess, concert series.
An amazing reason to drink in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, any reason really is a good reason to drink in the morning. The Democratic debates, our show, just anything really.
Yeah.
And that'll be off West Street near Rams Head in Annapolis, Maryland. We've also got a track from you called Friends Like These that we're going to play a little bit of a little later.
Surely.
And that's coming for you. Have an upcoming album called Welcome to the Victory Lounge that this is one of the tracks from.
Right.
And this has never been played before. So this is a world premiere that we'll be doing.
Yeah, a bunch of the people on the track haven't heard it.
Surprise!
You have been cut from the track.
Everything has been taken down 15 steps.
Yeah.
So excellent. So this is a world premiere of that. If you want to fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, you can listen to that track in its entirety. Come back and join us. You can also go up to www.docpine.com and find out more about shows that are up and coming and when the album's actually going to come out, because we don't have a release date quite yet.
Yeah, I've
But
been rolling
soon.
one of those Dungeons and Dragon die to see.
Roll for wandering albums.
Exactly.
There's a new name for your album.
Wandering album +4 charisma.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to move on, I think, to some of that news I talked about earlier. This is a little segment that we like to call the Weather Report. This is where we're going to make you the editor-in-chief of your own new publication. We're going to pitch you some news that we've found around the internet, all real news stories, and you're going to decide whether or not they're going to make it into the publication. All right, so let's start off with Adam. What do you have for us this week?
German locals purchased town's entire beer supply ahead of far-right music festival. Quote, "We wanted to dry the Nazis out."
This is a good protest.
I love this. So there was a thing called the Shield and Sword Festival in Ostritz, Saxony, Germany.
Okay.
And the local government was already all over this because Nazis basically illegal in Germany.
Right.
So they're getting people every which way for covering their faces or wearing certain types of things.
Yeah.
But one of the rules they also passed was that for this entire weekend, you weren't allowed to purchase or consume alcohol. Because they figure if people aren't getting drunk, they're not going to start fights in the streets.
Right.
Well, so they talked about the German police are confiscating beer left, right, center. And the locals realized, well, wait a minute. If this is happening, they're just going to come into town and buy stuff from our shops.
Yeah.
So they went in and bought all of the beer in all of the local shops and then just hid it.
Oh, that's great. I hope they just put booby traps around it.
That would be great. But on this is probably one of my favorite protest stories I've read on the show regarding Nazis.
Yeah. I like that what they didn't tell you is that the town also sold out of BBs and nails.
Well, this is my only issue with this story.
Yeah.
Because I think it's amazing. Okay, this is a great story.
Absolutely.
But my problem with it is I feel like we're getting chapter 1 of what should be a really epic story. So if you were watching a movie about this, it's like, okay, chapter 1 is the noble locals buy up all the beer because fuck Nazis.
Yeah.
We can all get on board with this.
We're in.
What we're not getting is the rest of the goddamn fucking movie. Like, we're not hearing about Betsy fucking off on her husband, and then there's this huge brawl in the streets of whatever town it is because everyone also, now that they've bought up this, regardless of their purposes, drank said booze or beer.
Right.
And I want to know what happens after they bought up all this beer and hopefully drank it in appropriate celebration of their morality. Like, and to see what happened and what kind of random awful shenanigans went on. And we're not going to get any of that shit. And it bugs me because I feel like I'm getting just the tip of the story.
I hope that they do the opposite of Nazis. They all get drunk,
Well, I don't,
and then they just
yeah.
like spread Jews out around everywhere and celebrate them. They put them up in the chairs and they dance and like they just
do the horror.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to be like Nazis, but you know what?
Opposite Nazis is what I'm saying.
Yes, opposite Nazis, but let's face the facts. If you're buying up all of the town's liquor,
yeah,
there's going to be something going on that you know, it's like this isn't quite Nazism, but you know what? I can't pat myself on the back for this behavior. I definitely took a shit on this person's wife.
Well, you got to remember, it's Germany. That's just a Tuesday.
That's a Tuesday.
Right.
But you know what? Maybe that it didn't happen in the street.
So you're saying
right?
it's like, so it's like, congratulations, you pissed off the Nazis.
But what happened after?
On second thought, there were some mistakes made.
I feel like this is a Cormac McCarthy novella waiting to happen, and we're just getting chapter 1, and I'm a little I want to hear the rest of the story.
I just
and I don't think I'm
imagine
gonna
You want
get
to see
it.
if it becomes Animal House Part 2.
Yeah, I imagine the entire town splitting up into two teams and going on either side of the Nazi festival and just playing Red Rover. And
Well, that'd be amazing too.
just like naked Red Rover. They just run through the crowd to the other side.
Like imagine even for instance, okay?
Yeah.
How amazing this article would be. Town that bought up all of the beer and booze to prevent far-right extremists from drinking, streak naked through the streets or anything.
Yeah.
Any other outcome is still like it's just that extra cherry on top.
Right, because right
And-
now
and we're-
the punch is they spent money, right? That's
Right.
That's
It's like
where we're at.
But what did they do after they drank it?
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want to hear.
They also made a really fatal mistake as well, because although they bought up all of the alcohol in the area, now the Nazis are going to be like, well, I guess we just have to do cocaine.
True.
And that seems really bad.
Yeah, they'll fall asleep. It'll
right.
be like 40 minutes of yelling about the master race, and they'll conk out.
Right.
They'll go through that quick.
Yeah, no, I mean, if the
Goddamn German Coke.
it's all white. So is it news?
Partly news.
But
I think I made my argument. It's not the whole news.
Yeah, but
It's
does
not
it
the
make
full
it into
story.
your publication?
Yeah, I mean, I'll slip the tip in, but I'm not gonna upset my readers by saying that's it. That's all you get. I'm gonna give them the full shebang when I find out.
So you're gonna do like a to be continued at the bottom, maybe?
100%, even if it's one of those like Mac and me, we'll be back kind of things.
Yeah.
And I don't like. I'm not gonna, like, they're gonna get the full story eventually, or I'll just lie about it.
Eventually,
you know?
we'll just make it up, whatever it was, right?
Right.
And you'll be like, yep. And then they just,
Super Mario Brothers Part 2.
yeah, they all got into one phone booth, and, and that was the end of it. All right, so that one's in. Just in case you thought that you had a bad day, a cow smuggler has died on the spot after a stolen cow kicks him in the groin. That's right. This man died from being kicked in the balls. That is rough.
Do we need to get like some kind of state band to play the slow, mournful song for his passing or something? Because that's something we all feared ever since grade school.
I think he passed his balls. I think that's what passed. I didn't even know you could die instantly from a ball check. Like I didn't know
That's exactly why it has to be news.
Yeah. This could be an epidemic. Just high schoolers like nut tapping each other. One
Right.
goes down and he's suddenly paralyzed for life. We don't know what else could happen. They're basically like head injuries.
Someone knees you in the groin, you have to be like, people die from that.
Like-
no, they don't. Hey, check out this news story. If that isn't news, then people hate men.
Yeah, you may have to change it slightly because you said people die from this. You might have to say person died from this because it's the only one I've heard of.
No, because once it gets incorporated into the conversation where it involves people not hitting you in the testicles,
Yes.
you extrapolate out. If one man can die from a cow kicking him in the groin,
Yeah.
people could theoretically die from groin injury.
Right.
And I think that's fair. And don't kick me in the balls. It's not right.
No, it's not right. In fact, extrapolating out is exactly what this man's testicles did.
See, what I want to know though
Yeah.
is because they mentioned a cow smuggler.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a cow smuggler and a cattle rustler?
Cuddling. I don't know. I think he was hiding it, I believe. He was trying to like transport the cow and like hide it. So I assume that means like you're putting it in a truck and smuggling it somewhere rather than like riding it. I don't know what you do when you're rustling it, but yeah. So I think that's the big difference, is that you're on a horse or you have a truck.
That sucks so much. What a way to die.
Right.
Right? I mean, I think that there's more honor in dying from a testicle injury from a cow than maybe dying on a moped, but
not strong.
Right?
Moped's a pretty low bar though.
It's low, yeah. Like it's like you died on a moped, dude.
Yeah.
But even still, a lesser animal took you out because he kicked you in the balls.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty big animal.
It's a big animal, but you know what? Like, you don't want that on your gravestone. That's my point.
Do you
Like,
think
died from kettlebell injury?
Yeah. And then the cow promptly stood over the man and just milked all over him.
Yeah.
Just to show dominance. So is it news?
It has to be news.
It is news. All right, all tied up. Adam.
Keith, have you been looking for that next thing that'll just energize your workout routine?
Yeah. Of course.
Well, have I got the thing that's totally not for you?
Thank God.
Marathon runner's poo makes mice run faster.
What? Why do we need mice to run faster, first of all?
So they took stool samples from 89 Olympians and from the 2015 Boston Marathon runners.
Which is hard because you have to hold the scoop while you're running behind them.
Yeah, it gets messy. It's awful. And then science that I don't understand, they come up with some kind of, I don't know what this, a supplement or something. It just mentions a certain bacteria.
Okay.
That they are managed, that they get to refine down, and they don't tell you whether it's now in a pill or something.
Okay.
But supposedly it eats lactic acid. So you can exercise longer without getting a cramp.
I see. Okay. So if you have this particular bacteria in your gut, then
And supposedly if you're like some kind of hyper athlete, you get more of it than anyone else.
Right.
And now we can eat their stool and become athletes ourselves.
Technically, I'm just going off on a limb here. Couldn't we just eat them?
And gain some of their power?
Yeah. Like, I feel like we should also get that same enzyme at that point, right?
Well, whether you're eating them or eating their poop, this, of course, is news. Because the thing is, right, they're going to use this to make some kind of crazy super athlete like rats or foxes. And by they, I mean, of course, the Russians.
The Russians.
And they're gonna unload their crazy animal horde on us. And, this is all the more reason why people should stop running marathons. Let's stop helping them.
Yeah, exactly. I think
What was that Netflix documentary a year or two ago about the Russians doping their athletes before the Olympics?
Chernobyl.
Is this like the is this like the lead up to that documentary part 2?
That's exactly it, man.
Yeah. No, I think they're missing the point of it. And that is that the reason that you run faster isn't because of that enzyme or that particular bacteria. It's because you've had to train to be able to catch a marathoner to get their poop. And so inherently you're running faster now.
It's the poop, man.
Yeah. I would think that I would run faster if you just held a marathoner's poop on a stick towards me and I had to get away from it.
Like, I have to say the same thing.
I'd be like, get away from me! What is it called? God, it's not a stick. Oh, is that pointy? And so then I would just run because I wouldn't want it on me. All right, so is it news?
I think for the sake of America and it has to be news.
Yeah, okay, of course. All right. We discussed this a little bit earlier in the latest episode of Why the Machines Will Win the Revolution. Dozens of drivers get stuck in mud after Google Maps reroutes them into an empty field.
Yes, Skynet, done. On to the next.
Yeah. This is what we are as people. The computer says, it's fine, just go into that field. It's a shortcut. And people are like, all right. And like, don't do that.
This isn't exactly new, because you remember when the GPS devices for your car were like a brand new thing.
Yeah.
It's like just post MapQuest, just pre-smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
And like every week there was another story about some Florida grandma turning right in the middle of a bridge and just going through the barrier into the water or something like that. Because
like that wasn't intentional for MapQuest. Look, you guys trust trust these things way too much. And I think that story and this story are the preliminary stories for the announcement of the singularity. I think it's news. I think it's upon us. And yeah, you know, those poor souls that got locked in a mud bank.
Yeah.
You know, if the humans won, they'd be in a history book, but they're not going to win.
My theory is one of two things have happened here, right? Either first, Jeffrey got fired from Google, and as his last thing in Google, he was like, oh yeah, watch this. You're trying to go to the airport? Fuck you, you're in a field. And he was like, I'm out, people, and just walked out the door. Or Google Maps is sentient, and it was testing to see, like, could I get away with just telling them all to drive themselves into an ocean? And the answer is yes.
Or go for the Shyamalan-esque twist at the end.
Yeah.
It's MapQuest that was sentient and is trying to get its revenge for us having moved on to other technologies.
If the singularity has a Shyamalan twist, you know, I welcome them offing us, because that'd be terrible.
Yeah, but the M. Night Shyamalan twist of the singularity would be like, we pull back the curtain and the thing that's running all of the computers are like fish. Right? And you're like, holy shit, the fish have been doing it the whole time. We thought they were so fucking stupid. They eat
It
hooks.
was still the trees.
Yeah. They'll actually eat a hook and they'll watch another one do it and then do it. And that's the whole time they've been controlling all of the computers. You open like the top of just the server and it's just an aquarium with fish just moving things and like punching buttons.
I'm so on board with this theory. That's my new headcanon.
And so, yeah. All right. So it is news. That's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Adam.
All right. So we're starting to run a little low on time, so we're going to enter our lightning round.
Uh-oh.
We're just going to throw some headlines at you. If you have questions, we'll try to answer them, but we didn't read these nearly as carefully as we did the other ones.
And by nearly as carefully, we mean not at all.
Got it.
Catholic bishop plans to dump holy water from a plane to exorcise city's demons.
News.
You know what would actually make them exercise better is if he dropped poop from a marathoner. I learned
but then all the murder rates would just skyrocket.
All right, so that is news. To celebrate the 4th of July, every pickup truck sold will come with an American flag, a King James Bible, and a 12-gauge shotgun at a dealership in, you guessed it, Alabama. Yeah. I assume that they ran out of rebel flags, so they had to get all American on us.
You know, I'm going to begrudgingly call this news.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like you should assume that your truckers have 12-gauge shotguns. So I do it begrudgingly. But if there was ever any doubt, it's like, look, these guys are packing. They're packing heat and they're packing Bibles, right? Yeah. Like, you know, so the next time you run a trucker off the road could be your last. We'll call it news. We're going to say it's news.
I feel like this could only get better if they gave free mullet haircuts while you were waiting.
If they gave them like cocaine, they didn't have to like sniff out, like find in some truck stop.
Right. They just attached antlers to the front of it for them.
The headline should be, truckers get free Bibles, shotguns, cocaines, and prostitutes. Then I have no problem calling it news. But you know, they'll find the cocaine with the shotgun, so we're going to call it news.
All right, it is news.
Keith, remember the birds from last week?
Yeah.
I've got one better.
No.
More than 5,000 turtles seized in luggage at Malaysia airport.
Run! Everybody run! There are turtles! No, we're good. We can just walk. Actually, no, they're really slow, the turtles.
Nope.
No.
This one doesn't surprise me.
What were they smuggling the turtles in? Do you know?
Smuggling is a
turtles.
strong word. It's literally like, so you know, like those crappy plastic baskets your mom had for you to put your shoes in when you were a kid? It'd be like the kind of off cream color with all the holes in the side.
Oh, like a laundry basket kind of thing?
Yeah, but like one for like this for like shoes.
With shoes, okay.
Like a single pair of shoes. It's just like 4 of those with a piece of plywood wired down to the top of it.
Dear God. He really stuffed them in there, huh?
It's just not a mystery, man. Of course they're going to try and smuggle turtles. They're adorable.
Yeah,
I mean, there was all.
I'm surprised it's so few.
I just feel like you get them here. I don't know why you'd have to smuggle them.
The article did wait until like the last sentence to mention that there was also meth.
Well, hold on a second. That makes it news.
You're burying the lead, man.
No, the lead is all the adorable turtles.
Yeah.
Meth turtles are news.
Do you think they were like, oh, what's with all these turtles? And why are they so energetic?
Yeah, that turtle is definitely beating the hair. that turtle is on the way.
Yeah.
Meth turtles are news. We count that as news.
The tortoise and the hair of the dog.
Yeah.
That's what that is. All right, it's news. I think we're last but not least.
Yep.
A new study discovers that viewing pornography at work increases unethical behavior. Especially if that unethical behavior is watching porn at work.
Oh, man.
This is one of those studies that I feel like we didn't need to fund. They could have just come talk to me, because at no point in time in my life have I ever said, oh, you mean Steven, the guy that watches porn at work? No, yeah, I'd have him manage my investments. Like, that's...
I'm going to actually vehemently call this not news for so many reasons.
Why is that?
One, okay, I don't know what the hell job we're talking about, and I don't even know what constitutes unethical behavior. This to me seems like a puff piece.
All jobs.
All jobs, right? Like, okay, look, if you're watching porn as like an air traffic controller instead of watching planes,
Yeah.
like that intrinsically is unethical because people are going to crash and die.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're watching it while teaching like little kids, like I get why that's unethical because it's just kind of gross.
Yeah.
Okay, but like the degree with which porn at your job is intrinsically unethical or increases what they consider unethical behavior. What do you even consider unethical behavior, right? Like I left the work early. Is that unethical? I did that today to get here. Fuck that. No, this is a puff piece. It's not news. It's some random Puritan that infiltrated the news network that's trying to turn us off of porn, and God bless pornography. No, fuck you, man.
So let me understand. You actually stopped watching pornography and left work early to get here on time.
Well, no, in between I was watching pornography, but my point is I wasn't doing it at work.
Counterpoint to all of this, though, what if it's your job to edit pornography?
Exactly. Right. There's so many variables to this, and it's passed off like science says pornography means bad. So fuck you, man. I'm on to your study.
Yeah. So what they said is that if somebody is watching pornography at work, they are more likely to engage in behavior such as fraud and collusion and other things like that. So now I don't believe that's true, because I knew a guy who once watched porn at work. Now I know he got fired for it, right? But if you had said like, hey, there's some money missing out of the cash register, do you think Jeffrey, who watches porn at work, did it? I'd be like, no, he's too busy watching porn at work. It's still money.
Look, on a serious note, it's a bullshit study. Like, who are the kind of people that even admit to watching porn at work, right? Like, the kind of people that maybe admit to it are maybe more inclined to also admit to fraud.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the study itself is totally debunked.
No, I have the answer for that. The people that admit to watching pornography at work are Australians.
There you go. And they're all criminals.
That's my theory.
No.
At least.
It's not only not news, the person who wrote it is a goddamn fucking criminal, and he should never be allowed to write another article again. Fuck that person.
All right.
I'm actually angry about that article.
Are you? Oh my goodness.
I'm upset about it. Okay.
Does it just hit really close to home? Is that why?
I mean, unethical.
Yes.
What's unethical?
No,
right?
That's what your
What are we
music's
talking
about,
about?
right? That's the whole point
Yeah.
of it.
That's the point. And look, there's studies that were done, right? There were bullshit studies about like you're more inclined to eat 8 spiders when your mouth's open. That's
Yeah.
what that study sounds like to me.
Sure.
It's pseudoscience.
That's
I
true,
don't like it. I don't like it at all. Everything else is news. That's bullshit.
All right, so everything was news except for mine. I lose, which is fine because I lose every week. Adam, you
Hooray!
win. Now what we need to do is find out, what are you going to name this publication?
Oh, me?
Yeah, we made a publication.
Okay.
You're the editor-in-chief. We need to be able to market this. What are we going to tell people to go to the newsstands and pick up?
The Warwick Daily Feed.
The Warwick Day. It's a short clip.
Right.
All right, so excellent. The Warwick Daily Feed. Please go check that out at your local newsstand if you know where a local newsstand is.
We will be complete with where the funny papers would be really classy pornography right in the middle. And I promise you this, if you read the Warwick Daily Feed at work,
Yeah.
you will not engage in these kind of unethical behaviors that this article claims that you would do. That's some bullshit. Okay, that's fake news, my friends.
And as
No.
James is saying, I can agree with him. I can also attest that you will be more likely to do unethical things at work if you listen to this show at work.
That's one
Yeah.
thing. But pornography,
Yeah,
no harm, no foul.
pornography's fine. Just I wouldn't listen to this show. All right, so how do you feel you did? Your editor-in-chief.
I think I did great. I think I want to see this publication.
Yeah, I think the Warwick Daily is going to be amazing. And
As soon as I found out there's pornography in it, I wanted to get a copy.
right, just on the cover. Excellent. Well, so we got you in here. Your name is James, but we would refer to you on stage as Doc Pine.
Indeed.
And the band is Doc Pine and the respect that he deserves. How much respect is that, would you say?
About 3 pages worth of pornography's worth.
That's pretty respectful.
Well, depending on who's in the publication.
Yeah, and your internet speed.
Right.
So you are going to be playing Sunday, July 7th at 11 a.m. Off of West Street in Annapolis, Maryland, near the Ramshead on Stage Bar. There's a concert event called First Sundays. And so you're doing that. You'll be there for like 3 hours, which is awesome. Lots of music. I assume this next track, the track that you brought us, Friends Like These, is that going to be something that you play at the show?
Maybe.
You never know.
He wants to keep a sense of mystery.
I haven't sent out a set list yet.
All right. So possibly, you could possibly hear this live. But what we do know is that this recording has never been heard publicly before.
Ever.
So this is a world premiere.
I had to make sure I heard it before I sent it.
So this is going to be coming off of an upcoming album called Welcome to the Victory Lounge. Well, what is the story behind the name Welcome to the Victory Lounge?
There's a bar, or was a bar in Pasadena called the Victory Lounge, and
No longer around, is it?
it's no longer around.
Okay.
Oddly, when we went to start recording this album, sadly the owner of the bar died.
Oh.
The Victory Lounge was it was off this road in Pasadena, and I sort of wrote this song because I loved the name of the bar, right?
Yeah, the Victory Lounge.
Yeah, because it was sort of a dive bar, right?
Okay.
And like it was one of these places where the back of it was like a school bus graveyard, and like if you went there at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, there was like hardened veteran drinkers, mind you, not necessarily veterans. They were like downing their drinks and the kind of place you feel at home at. And so
It's like the place where people hang out after they bought all the alcohol in town.
Right. I was either going to write a song about the Victory Lounge, or there's a place in Laurel, I don't know if it's still around, called Utopia Liquors. Same kind of concept.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Welcome to the Victory Lounge was a line from that song, and that became sort of the title, the overarching theme for this album, which is sort of it's sort of an homage to the kind of
Just the
honky tonk heroes kind of albums, the sort of outlaw country like classics of like, here's some
But like
some
the
gin-soaked
suburban
anthems.
Is it like the suburban version of that? Is that
Sure. I'm a big fan of Randy Newman, so it's a big. There's a lot of tongue in cheek and a lot of satire. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still destroying my organs, but I also realize the absurdity of like some dude from Maryland writing an outlaw country album about heavy drinking,
Right.
even if I am drinking heavily.
Yes.
So yeah, that aspect of it is definitely all over the album.
So this is a track called Friends Like These. What is this track? Set this up for me. What's going on here?
This one is it's sort of that feeling that you have when you're just pissed off at a good friend. Now, in order to write that song,
Yeah.
I actually I was fueled creatively by someone that is not at all a friend, right? Like I got all my inspiration from someone that I despise, but
You
I
pissed off
realized
someone
that
you don't like, and then got inspiration.
yeah,
from it.
not a friend, but
Okay, good.
I realize also that that's also how those are the feelings you have towards close friends if you're being honest with yourself when you're really angry at them.
Sure,
I mean
right.
your closest friends, like, man, fuck John, that kind of thing. Like
I did so much for him, and he's just fucking leaving me out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I
There's a lot of investment.
yeah. Sometimes you have to like extract your inspiration from places.
Yeah,
And so
squeeze it out.
this wasn't inspired by any one particular shitty friend. In fact, it was no friend of mine. It was just an asshole. But
All right. Well, let's
but
take
that-
a listen to this clip. This is a track called Friends Like These from Doc Pine and the Respect He Deserves.
If you're wondering, Hoss, how you coming across, you don't seem like a saint much to me. You call me a crook, you better take a long look, 'cause you might not like what you see. Don't go asking me for guarantees with your tail between your knees. Good God, who needs enemies when you got friends like me?
Now you can definitely hear like there's a chance that you're gonna wreck a bar. That's
good.
yeah, that's in there. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the beginning of that night. Like you're ramping up. This is the beginning. Like, you know what? I might wreck this bar. Give me a drink. It hasn't gotten to the part where you're actually like breaking a cue stick over someone's head yet. But you're like, I'm bored tonight. I might wreck this place.
Well, good. Yeah, that aspect of drunken tomfoolery need to be represented properly.
Absolutely. So if you fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, you can listen to the entire track Friends Like These and come back and join us again. This is going to be off of an upcoming album called Welcome to the Victory Lounge. There's not a release date for that yet, but go up to docpine.com to find out more as to when that's going to be released and about all his shows that are coming up. Doc Pine and the Respect He Deserves will be playing Sunday, July 7th at 11 a.m. for the First Sunday concert series off West Street near Ram's Head in Annapolis, Maryland. So this is fantastic. I would like to move on here. I know you might be a little concerned about this because as people come on the show, this is kind of the most daunting part of the show. But this
Okay.
is basically we invented the worst game show ever.
Oh, cool.
Yes, and so we
But with the
I'm
best
in.
theme music, though.
yeah, so we call this let's see, Please God Just Get One Right. So what we're gonna do is we have 6 trivia
Talking about
questions.
bar wrecking music there.
Yes, we have 6 questions about
Okay.
trivia questions about a topic that last week's guest, which is Chris from Ambition Radio. He has a weekly podcast about finding the balance between life, career, and passions. You can go find out about that at ambitionradio.us. So he picked a category for you. We have
What's the category?
you see, look, you're very eager. This is great.
I'm ready.
So we're going to ask you these questions, and you're going to roll your eyes at us and be angry because they're ridiculous. The category is MMA. How are you feeling? Mixed martial arts.
I am super unprepared, but we're gonna do this.
All right. Everybody is. It's okay. This is
Yeah.
really just to make you angry at us.
Mhm.
And so the good news is if you don't get any right, you get to pick a category for our next guest that can be just as terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can pass on the pain and embarrassment.
Mhm.
All right, so Adam, let's get us started here.
A precursor to modern day mixed martial arts, this fight is still hotly debated due to the allegations that the fight was supposedly fixed, or that certain rules were put in place that prevented one of the fighters from using their style, or that it should not have ended in a draw. It featured Japanese wrestler Antonio Inoki, and one theory suggests that his opponent's supporters told him if he laid a hand on his opponent, they would kill him, which may explain why the entire 15-minute match, Antonio laid on his back, kicking his opponent in the shins every time he got close. Who was his opponent?
It's a tough one. These are definitely difficult. It's a
Yeah.
it's
This one isn't difficult.
no. This is a name you would know.
This one I know.
Yeah, okay.
Patrick Stewart.
Really close. Love that guess. But the answer we're looking for is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. After
That's this for the
that's the second one. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
I
Yeah,
didn't-
if we're gonna go that way, okay, sure.
Patrick
yeah,
Stewart,
Muhammad Ali.
a good guess for all MMA questions. All right, so unfortunately you didn't get that one right. Mine's a little shorter here. What notable feature did the first UFC event to be broadcast live on US cable share with the first Ford Mustang? This gave you a hint because if you know things about Mustangs or MMA, you'd have a shot at it. However,
Women in bikinis.
that's a great guess. Yeah, it is unfortunately not correct. The answer is they both included a non-whole number. So the first Mustang was actually a 1964 and a half Mustang. And the first first broadcasted UFC fight was UFC 37 and a half, 37.5. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, and probably women in bikinis. To be honest, that's probably also true.
I'm just trying to be consistent.
Yeah. And Patrick Stewart.
And Patrick Stewart in a bikini.
All right, Adam.
First appearing in the 33rd Olympiad, this ancient Greek mixed martial art was allowed all types of strikes, grapples, and tackles except for gouging and biting. The fight would last until someone could not continue or submitted by raising their index finger. There is no such thing as rounds. What was the name of this sport?
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Oh, that's a great guess.
It's great guess. It's pancration.
I think this is the one that people died. Like
I
literally,
mean, probably.
like literally, they would fight and one person would die, and they'd be like, "Nope, I don't think he's gonna win." So,
Yeah, he's done.
yeah, so I want to feel like that's the case. I misread this the first time when I first looked at the document that has all the answers on it, and I kind of thought it said penetration. And I was like, my God, the Greeks knew how to do it, didn't they? Woo! Index finger, please.
Oh, you got me with a mouthful of whiskey, you bastard.
I would put my index finger up real quick. So didn't get that one. What Middle Eastern country owns 10% of the UFC?
Turkey.
Turkey. That is a good. Is that Middle Eastern? I guess it's.
I just want to say Turkey.
It's kind of European, but I guess there's some kind of in the Middle East, right? I guess that would count.
I think they're Mediterranean,
yeah,
technically.
I don't know. No, Abu Dhabi.
It was Turkey, man.
And I'm gonna look it up. Nope, you're right. It was Turkey. I was way off. I asked a friend the same question, and they said Dubai.
Oh, that's a much better guess than Turkey.
No, it's not, because that's not a country.
You do know the biggest difference between Abu Dhabi and what was you just said?
Dubai.
Dubai. You do know the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, right?
I do, but you go on ahead.
People of Dubai do not like the Flintstones, while the people of Abu Dhabi do.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Can I double down? Can I double down on Turkey? Can we just?
You just want to eat turkey. That's really what is happening here. Adam, what's your last one?
This precursor of freestyle wrestling hit a resurgence with the popularity of mixed martial arts in the 90s. It includes submissions and holds that are normally banned because of how dangerous they are, and this is where the term no holds barred comes from. What is the name of this now common wrestling style popular in the MMA?
Van Damme.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
I mean, damn close. Catch wrestling.
Catch
Turkey.
Patrick Stewart wrestling.
Turkey Patrick Stewart.
Turkey Stewart wrestling.
Greco-Roman turkey.
Abu Dhabi Stewart wrestling.
God damn it.
All right. Last but not least, let's see if you can pull it out right here at the end.
Oh, I'll pull it out.
Well, if I put up my index finger, you will. So, what fighter holds the record for most knockouts inside the UFC octagon? Is that a siren?
I'm about to say, I feel like I'm getting pulled over.
That is the sound of a knockout happening.
A knockout.
Yes. A knockout is when one fighter knocks out another fighter in the ring.
Was it Patrick Stewart?
It was Patrick Stewart. Nobody's gonna believe us. So I think
Was that Connor dude?
it was not. No, Conor
That guy-
McGregor.
No, it wasn't him.
It was not him.
I don't know.
It's Anderson Silva is the name of the fighter.
Oh yeah. Patrick Stewart's son.
He's had 22 knockouts. A lot of people would also guess Chuck Liddell, who was a very famous UFC fighter that fought for a long time.
Both Turkish experts in Greco-Roman wrestling.
That's true. But Chuck Liddell only has 13, so he's a good ways off.
He's a fucking hack.
Yeah, from Anderson Silva. So unfortunately, you did not win. You did not get just one right. However, you get to take all that pain and humiliation, ball it up into a category for our next artist coming on. So what would you like our next artist to struggle to answer just one question right about?
Obscure comic book heroes.
Obscure comic book heroes. I don't think we've done that yet, have we?
I don't think so. I don't think we've done any comic book stuff.
I feel like we had one of something, but
not nearly as sexy as mine.
Yeah, no, yours is way better.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you didn't say like Turkish comic book heroes based off of Patrick Stewart.
Say just be 6 questions about Turkish Spider-Man.
Yeah. 6 questions about should you use the shorter urinal.
Make sure they're really, really obscure though. Okay. _obscure.
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't want to be one up by whoever the next person is.
I like somebody who has scruples. All right, so let's move on, find out a little bit more about you. This is a segment we like to call Near and Far. This is where we get 2 stories from you, one that's near and one that's far. So we learn a little bit of what it's like to be Doc Pine and perhaps the respect that you deserve. So for your near story, all you told me was that your far story is far more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to blow through this one pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What's your near story?
Well, I one of my bands that I'm in is a band called the Thorn Apples.
Okay.
And I met a buddy unpacking scented candles at Pier 1 shortly after I got divorced to my ex-wife.
That sounds like the saddest scene. You just got divorced and you're just hanging out with a guy unpacking scented candles.
Setting the scene, man.
Yeah.
For the record, I now have twins with my ex-wife. That's a spoiler warning for later in the story. Anyway, okay. So anyway, we're all sad unpacking citra cilantro candles, and we say, you know what? We're gonna go on a road trip. Man, road trip across the country. So as you do, you load up on your extracurriculars.
Yep.
Which we did.
Turtles.
We had turtles and
Methamphetamines.
Certainly methamphetamines and acid and all that kind of all the good stuff. And we went across the country. And by the time I got to California, we had used most of them up. We'd also, unfortunately,
oh my god,
the turtles too. We snorted all the turtles. We actually in Arizona, what happened was there was a cactus forest, and we decided that we were going to run around like a bunch of assholes on acid in the cactus forest. And
Sure.
as a result of doing this, we lost the keys to the rental car in the cactus forest.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we were stranded there, and they brought us a new rental car. Problem was that this rental car had one of those Arizona plates. It was like really bright and vibrant. Like you're definitely from out of state, right? So we continue our shenanigans in California and headed east. We pass through Utah. I mean, we don't even know that we're in Utah, but this random unmarked car like speeds up, right?
Yeah.
And we speed up because that's what you do when someone's on your ass.
Sure.
And he pulls us over and he searches our car and he finds some of the said extracurriculars and we go to jail. And
so you get arrested in Utah.
Oh yeah.
While on a road trip. Okay. So you're in a
That's
Utah
what you get for
jail.
taking turtles across state lines.
Yeah. That's,
So
the problem.
we don't even know where we are. We go to Utah
I know
jail.
where you are.
Now we know. Yeah, we're in Utah, a place called Iron County.
Okay.
Don't ever go there.
Don't go there with
don't go there.
extracurriculars.
Yeah. So they eventually they let us out, but we have to basically fly back, right, to do what ends up being 10 days in a Utah jail.
Wow. Okay. So you can go home, but then you actually have to fly back to Utah at some point and be in jail for 10 days.
Yeah, and do 10 days. So
That's such a weird predicament to be in, and a terrible vacation.
well, as vacations go, the return trip wasn't as bad because okay, first of all, the people that we were in there with, Cell Block C, they were salt of the earth people mostly. There was one guy with like a morphine pump underneath his skin that was like he squashed my. I started a sort of lizard racing thing in the yard, as you do.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
And he squashed my lizard, and I don't much care for him as a result of that. But other than him, everyone was pretty cut and dry, and salt of the earth.
How is this whole story not a concept album, by the way?
Well, it was. The first Thorn Apples album was basically just the story of this adventure.
Nice.
But yeah, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about what to say, what not to say when you're in a Utah jail. We were in there with a couple of like the worst Mormons we've ever met. They did.
I mean, they're in jail, so yeah, that's going to make them terrible Mormons already.
They were terrible. They were terrible Mormons.
Yeah.
They were breaking and entering because they had a heroin addiction.
Well, that's terrible.
They're not very good Mormons, but they were very devout as soon as they got to jail. So they were the worst of both worlds,
Right.
And they were kind of socially slow.
That's very unfortunate of them.
Well, it was because they wanted to buddy with us, and it's like, just stay away, man. We're trying to do our thing.
We have about 1 minute left, so you're in this jail, right? You've got the Mormons. Things are going a little sideways with them. So what goes on? What's the last minute of your story?
We met a guy that was in there for the long haul by the name of Arkansas. They only knew him by the name of Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
He shared a story about how someone ratted out his father and how him and his brother and his uncle took the rat and tied him to a tree, dropped his drawers, and let a setting calf off on his cock.
Oh.
Me being the
which we just
socially
found out could make you die instantly.
not a good thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So I of course made the claim, there's nothing lower on the planet than a rat.
Yeah.
And they liked this comment.
Sure.
Bad Mormon makes the claim after the story. I don't know, man. If a situation was right, I might rat someone out. And
not a smart thing to say.
Not something to say in jail.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time, James. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, Doc Pine and the Respect That He Deserves is playing Sunday, July 7th at 11 a.m. for First Sundays off of West Street near Ram's Head on Stage in Annapolis, Maryland. Don't forget to check out their upcoming album, Welcome to the Victory Lounge. Go up to docpine.com to find out more. Please like our posts, follow us, retweet us, and share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Also, don't forget to review us on Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. If you're an artist, musician, or culture creator in the DC area, we want you on our show. Email us at booking@anotherwastedhour.com. Thanks to engineer Adam, Kevin Eminger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Big Mental Records, and Big Mental Studios, and Alchemical Records for all their contributions. Thanks most of all to our guest, Doc Pine, and the respect that he deserves, and you, our fans, for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another Wasted Hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
If you're wondering, Hoss, how you coming across, you don't seem like a saint much to me. You call me a crook, you better take a long look, 'cause you might not like what you see. Don't go asking me for guarantees with your tail between your knees. Good God, who needs enemies when you got friends like me? You talk a big game and slander my name, but you act like a scared little kid. You ain't worth my time, I don't burden my mind with the movements of sub-hominids. What became of human decency and accountability? Good God, who needs enemies when you got friends like these? If there does come a day when the debt is repaid, this is what I'd advise you to do. Find a rock and go hide. I got bile inside, and I've crushed bigger insects than you. What became